All right, guys, we're going to be talking about my home state of Texas, which is run by Republicans. Now, a Democrat has not won a statewide election in Texas in over 30 years. I mean, none, zero, zilch. Republicans run the state of Texas. Now, it is primary time. And Democrats really have been targeting Texas for a very, very long time, even though I don't believe they're actually going to take Texas in the 2024 election. But they do have a plant, and that plant is one Nikki Haley, who should actually really drop out of the Republican primary. It is not a primary. After what's happened in Iowa and New Hampshire, especially New Hampshire, because the exit polls, man, for Nikki Haley were suspect, okay? She finished 11 points behind Donald Trump with the support of Democrats, not Republicans. Because if you actually look at the numbers, guys, actual Republicans, man, Donald Trump was something like 70-30 up on Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley is embarrassing herself. Now, Texas. Nikki Haley is actually targeting Texas. Why? Because in our state, we actually have open primaries. So it's very possible that the same thing that happened in New Hampshire could actually happen over here. Now, I believe in New Hampshire, though, they actually make people re-register with a different party or something like that. I'm not really sure. Okay. In Texas, you don't have to register with any party. You just go and vote for who you want to vote for. Like in the primaries, if you want to vote in the Republican primary, you can do that. But then you can't go and vote in the Democrat primary. Okay. Nikki Haley, I think, is up to something kind of slick. And Texas is about to make a move that's going to devastate Nikki Haley. What actually happened in New Hampshire doesn't look like it's actually going to be happening in Texas. From what I actually understand about the polls here in Texas, this is complete Donald Trump country when it comes to the GOP primary. Even in the elections, Trump has won Texas both times. The last time Texas even voted for a Democrat for president, you got to go all the way back to Jimmy Carter in 1976. That's how long it's been. Well, guys, Nikki Haley, she is not going to get the support in Texas. This is going to be all for Donald Trump. And the news we got here, man, if this actually goes through, she is going to be devastated. So let's talk about it, guys. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member, support us just for $5 per month. And if you're watching on Rumble, click the join button, get access to the same thing for $5 a month. Member live stream every single Friday. So here we go, guys. Look at this. This is on the Texas Tribune. Texas GOP increasingly considers push to close its primaries. Yes, because technically Democrats can actually vote in the Texas primary. But now, based on what's happened, especially in New Hampshire, the Texas GOP is like, wait a minute, hold on. This cannot happen. Nikki Haley truly does not have the support of the Texas GOP voters. They don't. We all know it. So Nikki Haley's plan is actually to target Texas to inflate her numbers to get Democrats to vote for her. This is fascinating, guys. So let's go ahead and read this here. It says Texas Republicans are increasingly debating who should be allowed to vote in their primary as the March 5th contest nears the presidential nominee at the top of the ticket. The debate has increased in recent days as presidential candidate Nikki Haley has talked openly about targeting states like Texas that have open primaries, or primaries that are open to voters regardless of partisan affiliation. But even before the former South Carolina governor started on trumpeting her strategy, GOP activists in Texas are zeroing in on limiting the state's primary to Republicans, crafting a non-binding ballot proposition on the March 5th ballot to gauge support for the idea. You know what? This would definitely be a great way to actually stop Nikki Haley's plan to have Democrats infiltrate the GOP primary out here in Texas. Now, like I said, you don't have to register as a Republican or Democrat in Texas. You don't have to do that. But there's still people here that actually are registered Republicans. And so it seems like, maybe it's just actually going to be them that will actually vote in the GOP primary. And I think that's probably actually going to be more fair, because that's going to really tell you if the GOP really supports Nikki Haley or not, which they won't. She'll get wiped out if only Republicans vote in the primary. She'll get destroyed. Look here. Haley's strategy only added fuel to the fire. Quote, "This is a very obvious call for Democrat crossover voting in the Republican primary, which we know already happens in Texas on a large scale," Texas GOP Chair Matt Rinaldi said last week in response to a Haley campaign memo on the topic. Quote, "The Texas GOP must prioritize closed primaries." You know what? They probably should. Even though Trump won the primaries in Texas, pretty easily. Okay? Pretty easily. Even U.S. Senator John Cornyn, who is often at odds with the state party under Rinaldi, said he is fine with closing the primary. Quote, "I don't have any problem with closing the primary, but I don't see it as a huge issue in Texas," Cornyn said in a radio interview last week. In other words, I believe he's saying that he believes that Trump is going to win, no matter if Democrats are actually voting for Nikki Haley. I mean, why is she still doing this, man? Why? This doesn't make any sense, man. Because the only thing that she's really doing is exposing herself as a puppet of the Democrats. The longer she stays in, the more she's actually destroying her own political future. I mean, what is she actually going to do after she actually drops out? Will Nikki Haley end up, going and taking a job with like CNN or something like that? Or, is she just going to switch parties and become a Democrat? She might as well at this point, because that is who is supporting her. Somebody has to be whispering in Nikki Haley's ear that, you got these Democrats voting for you right now in the primaries, but these Democrats are not going to vote for you in the general. This is all strategic. They really don't like you. People have actually said that on camera. So she's just making a fool out of herself. Trump is going to win the Texas primary. Trump is going to win Texas in the general. Especially, considering the border. It's going to get bad for Joe Biden, I believe, here in Texas. Because on the border, man, those people are suffering over there. I think that usually those border towns are usually more blue, but it's gotten a little bit more red. So I'm going to be very, very curious to see what's going to happen down there in those southern border towns in the 2024 election. Nikki Haley just won't be on the ballot. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you next time.